Hey, what is up guys? Zero here and welcome back to another Lorcana video and welcome back to some live Lorcana gameplay. It has been a hot second since the last one of these kind of videos, so apologies on that. But before we get started, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and this kind of content, I would actually appreciate if you would hit the little subscribe button and press the bell if you fancy. It would really help me out a ton and also help you get notified when I put new content out. But yeah, that being said, we are getting right back into it with some live gameplay. As always, I'm playing Blue Steel on the right. Today we are up against Ruby Amber, Mufasa, and this is the first for the channel, so this is pretty cool. One thing to note though, we are still playing in Ursula's Return, so only set 4 cards in this video. This is from the last league that we played right before the set moved over, so it's from a couple weeks back. We've been pushed back because I've been slogging making tier lists so far, but now that that's all done, you can treat this like a final hurrah for set 4. We're gonna send it off with a blast. Yeah, so we have, I think, like 2 or so more videos in set 4, but then once that's over, I'm gonna start doing some set 5 gameplay for you guys. But yeah, this should be it for the backlog. Let's just get this party going. It looks like we are already well underway. I was on the play, so I got to go first. On my first turn, I get my popsicle out, and my opponent gets the queen out, the 1-drop 2/2 vanilla. And on my turn 2, I did not end up finding any 2-drops, so instead I play popsicle and fortisphere, get my item stack going. That's all I really could play. On my opponent's following turn though, she for 2 is going to shift into her Floodborn Queen and quest for 2. Already a pretty big threat right off the gate. And I'm playing Sapphire Steel, which kind of means like I'm gonna have trouble answering threats at the moment as I'm ramping up. The hope here is to kind of get up to a high enough ink level where I can kind of respond, or at least put a threat on the board enough that they don't get to just quest for free like that. So yeah, my turn 3, I get to get my Fishbone Quill out. And I have an additional popsicle, so with the additional Fishbone Quill ink, I get to exert it for another popsicle. But on my opponent's next turn, she gets Flynn Rider out, so this is already kind of alarming. So we have the queen here, and we have Flynn Rider, so I immediately will have to answer that, or else this game is going to get way out of hand, way too quick. I do have a Baboom in my hand, so that is already a very good answer. So I'm just kind of counting ink here. I can get up to 6 this turn because with Fishbone Quill, and I already start off with 4. I can get up to 6, so I play Harem first to draw to see if I find anything else. I'm probably going to play Baboom anyway, but usually you want to draw first before you make your move. So yeah, I draw off of Harem by discarding one of my popsicles, and then for 2, I'm going to Baboom away the Flynn Rider, one of the most immediate threats right now. But yeah, it turns out my opponent has another Flynn Rider, so on this next turn, she's going to play Flynn Rider and also drop a Mother Gothel, another 2-drop with the 4 total ink. I've already gotten to a pretty good point here though. I have a good amount of ink, and I'm already hit 6, so I get to hit Tinkerbell. So Mother Gothel, I get to wipe her out before she can be healed by Rapunzel, which is very, very nice. Additionally, Tinkerbell has 4 strength, just like the queen, so again, I'm challenging the Flynn Rider. If you don't know what the Flynn Rider does, it's when you start your turn, if you have the most, or one of your characters has the most strength on board, you get to immediately gain 3 lore. So this is kind of the tug of war you have with Flynn Rider usually. Whenever you see him, where you kind of want to have something on the board with more strength, or you know, at least enough to make sure that he doesn't get the free lore. But yeah, if you can't do that, you're gonna have to remove him, which I did the turn before, and this time, since I couldn't remove him, at least, you know, I am challenging away so that he doesn't get the lore. But yeah, now that we're here, so my opponent's turn, she's going to quest with the queen and use her ability, which lowers one character's strength by 4 and gives another character 4 strength. So here, she gives Flynn Rider, who has 2 strength, an additional 4, which brings it up to 6, and lowers my Harem to 0 so that Flynn survives his encounter and my Harem gets taken out, which is pretty nice. I didn't mind this too much, so I wanted to draw. So to draw with Harem, you have to quest once he's on the board. So I did have to do that. but it took kind of everything she had to get rid of the Hiram. And now since I had Tinkerbell, I already knew I could answer by taking, because the Flynn Rider would have to challenge. And since the Flynn Rider challenge, I can attack the Flynn Rider, use Tinkerbell's ability, do 2 damage to the Queen as well, and take them both out since the Queen already had 1 damage from Tinkerbell earlier. It was unfortunate, but I think on my opponent's 5th turn, I want to say, she ended up not having anything to play, so that leaves her with an empty board. And I played Cogsworth just to give my Tinkerbell the resist, take 1 less damage. But now it seems my opponent is forced to play a blank Madame Medusa, because Madame Medusa on play gets to remove something with 3 strength or less from the board. But my Tinkerbell has more than that, and my Cogsworth has ward, so it can't be chosen. So it was just kind of a free play from my opponent. But yeah, here I'm going to play Tinkerbell on my turn just to get it out of my hand, because I am planning to play A Whole New World. So I sing A Whole New World with Cogsworth here just to give us a refresher, give us both new hands. And here, I'm going to start getting on the board here. I quest with my Tinkerbell and, you know, start racking up some lore, because my opponent got a lot of free lore off of the early Queen, which was very nice for her. But I feel like I have the board control here now. After the Whole New World, I play down a Detective Mickey. Is one of the I want to say it's one of the only things I could play. Don't remember what my hand was exactly, but with my remaining ink, that seems to be all I could do. And I'm gonna pass it over back to my opponent. But yeah, I did also give her a fresh new hand, so it seems like she was kind of stuck, where, like, you know, her hand wasn't too great. She didn't have a turn 5 player, and turn 6 was a Madame Medusa with nothing on the board. So you know, may have been a good thing for her as well. But I think I was also, I had no cards in hand besides the Whole New World, so I also definitely needed that as well. Here we're kind of trying to do math here. So Cogsworth, you know, it's a very annoying card for the resist that he gives, but also for trying to figure out the math. I always make everyone do additional math when they have to play against me, but yeah. So Madame Medusa ends up not challenging Tinkerbell because it would be a lost cause, but we see that she does have a Scar, which is very nice. Scar gets to take out the Cogsworth for free here, and then Madame Medusa ends up taking the Tinkerbell now that the resist was removed. And my opponent is left with an upright Scar here, so still a threat. I think that was probably the right kind of play. It was a question of if Scar should take out the Tinkerbell or the Madame Medusa, and I think Madame Medusa makes more sense because Scar is putting up a lot more pressure here. But back to my turn, I got to continue to hype up the pressure. I'm going to play Tamatoa and get an item back, and then in addition to that, I'm going to hop a Smee into play as well. And I end up questing. I think this was a mistake here. I quest with both Tinkerbell and Mickey here, when Scar can just take the Mickey out for free, and also the Tinkerbell. So definitely should have left the Mickey upright. I think questing with the Tinkerbell was fine there. You could say you don't want to maybe lose the Tinkerbell, but you know, I'd rather not give the Scar that kind of power over the game and dictate, you know, that I can't be questing. But yeah, so we're gonna be, yeah, Scar's gonna be taking out both my characters here, and we'll see. Yeah, I think that ends up being a pretty bad mistake, because here my opponent is going to also be playing Lady Tremaine, making me choose something to get off of my field. And I have to pick my fresh new Shmee because once again I lost the Mickey for free for no reason. If I didn't have the Shmee on the board, that would have been devastating, a really devastating mistake. So good thing he was there as fodder, but it would have been better not to lose him for sure. So that's something to keep in mind for the future, you know, just for future games in general. But yeah, on my turn, I immediately quest with Tamatoa because I want to fish that Popsicle out of my discard, and also kind of lock in the lore, because he is gaining a lot of lore right now with all of the items that I've been having to play all game. But yeah, with my remaining ink, I'm going to drop Hiram, take out a Popsicle so I can draw an additional 2 cards, and also drop an Aerial for an additional threat on the board, because there's a chance that Tamatoa gets lost here. But yeah, with the Aerial, I'm also going to, I have 2 ink left. I'm gonna Baboom away the Mulan, just, you know, try and keep my board a little safer here, because there is a chance that she can shift into Big Mulan. And I don't remember at the time if Mulan the big Mulan is able to choose if her ability is choosing, because if it's a choosing ability, then Ariel is safe from it because she has ward. But if it's not, then Ariel might be sniped by that ability because she like attacks one thing and then also attacks two other things. So that's kind of a pretty big threat. So I want to get that off the board. But yeah, on my opponent's turn, she shows another Scar. So with Tremaine and Scar together, that is enough to take Tamatoa out off the board. But good thing I already have the Ariel on the board here, so she is putting plenty of pressure on, especially on this empty board that my opponent has. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I have Ariel, which she will lure for 5 as long as I have more items than my opponent. And since my opponent is not playing with any items, she will basically always be luring for 5 as long as I don't get rid of everything from my board. But yeah, I drop a second Tamatoa just to put insult to injury here. I want to get another Popsicle. I want to throw it away with him to fish for some more cards just in case I need something. I'm going to quest with the Ariel as well, and then with my last 2 remaining ink, I'm just going to drop Mr. Shmi just to try and seal the deal here. My opponent has Maui, but that's not going to be enough. I think Be Prepared is the only way out here, and I don't think she plays it. Just from the game we've played so far, it doesn't seem like she has it. It seems to be very character intensive. Maybe all characters, if I remember correctly, but yeah, that is going to seal the deal. I still have Tamatoa as a threat, so there is no way out. I will take game 1 very decisively. I like the way that I played. I mean, obviously there was that mistake in the beginning, but good recovery, good execution. But I think that's kind of how this is going to go, especially without any Be Prepareds. Then it's going to be the case where if I get out of hand with some of the really big threats, like Tamatoa is really hard to answer, right? Tamatoa is hard to answer. Ariel has ward, not that there's many action. I guess like Maleficent Dragon, like it's safe from her if she does run Maleficent Dragon. But yeah, I mean, so far so good. I didn't even need Dime in that game. So yeah, feeling pretty good here. Going into game 2, I am on the draw now, so we are going second. I think I tried to show my hand for a second there, and we got a quick look, but not the worst. We have some of the low drops, but I don't think we saw anything too stand out there. But yeah, we're gonna start. My opponent finds another queen, and in response I am going to ink Tamatoa for the sphere. So about same start. If we see a shift queen again, then we are gonna see, yep, there we go, shift queen. We are again having to tango with this queen, and being on the draw against this is a little bit tougher. But I am going to respond with Mr. Shmi. I did find my 2-drop this game as opposed to the first game, so that is nice. At least this queen doesn't get to quest for free, and if Flynn Rider comes down, it's still a threat because the queen has 4 strength. But you know, it's better here where I'm putting enough pressure where there isn't any free questing, so it's looking a little bit good. But on turn 3 here, my opponent is going to drop Mother Gothel, and I think here's probably a mistake that I make. So I play Fishbone Quill because this is my turn 3. I want to start ramping, so I want to start getting going. So I go for the extra ink. But here my opponent gets the Rapunzel, heal the Mother Gothel, and draw 3. In hindsight, I have a Baboom in my hand. I should absolutely 100%, I think, take out that Mother Gothel. Just remove that threat. Why did I even allow that? You know, obviously I want to get to ramping, and Fishbone Quill is a good way to get started, but I don't think I was in that much of a rush. I should definitely have taken that Mother Gothel out instead of letting Rapunzel come down, get a really nice card advantage with those draws, and Mother Gothel gets healed for full. So this has suddenly become such a problem because, like, if I did take the Mother Gothel out, then I could have quested with the Shmi too, kind of like unabated, like without any worries. So yeah, I think that's definitely a mistake this game. But yeah, I follow up with Hiram on my turn. Just want to look at some more cards, want to get something going here. But I'm already on the back foot, I feel. There has been a pretty good curve for my opponent. You know, Queen into Shift Queen, into Mother Gothel, into Rapunzel. And then now here on turn 5, we are going to see a great 5-drop in Mufasa. And then now it's looking pretty bad for me. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't really have my engine going yet. My board is not really here. Like, I don't have anything going. I can't really turn things sideways because the queen is there. She basically gets to trade for free against most of anything I have. So this is very, very concerning. None of my cards are safe. And my opponent has Mufasa, which means if I somehow get to clear this board, something is still going to be out. So a really, really good position for my opponent to be in. She's going to feel pretty comfortable here in questing just with everything, just because I don't have Tinkerbell on the board. I'm not really threatening anything right now. I just have Hiram and Shmi. I mean, Shmi can trade into Queen. That's something to think about. And I think, yeah, I remember making mistake 2 here, I think, where I don't know what I'm thinking here. I think I'm just a little frazzled by just how bad this is going. But yeah, I play out my Cogsworth just before I do any trades, any possible trades, if I'm thinking about it. But here I'm going to be using Hiram to sing Along Came Zeus, but I hit the Queen for some reason. When really I should have just traded Shmi into the Queen, because that's already a trade, and I could save the Zeus. I could hit Rapunzel, probably would be my actual target, and you know, that would stem the bleeding a lot better, I think. But yeah, no, that was the decision I went with, and yeah, so I took the Queen out. At least that's a good start, but still it's like that didn't really net me anything. I don't know if I was thinking of like saving Shmi. It's like, oh, because with Cogsworth out now, I don't hurt myself with Shmi when I turn him. So I thought, you know, maybe trying to keep him on the board made more sense. Madagato and Mufasa don't trade nicely into him anymore. It would take both of them to take him out. So maybe that's kind of what I'm thinking of here. But I'm giving my opponent more questing materials, so it's not great here. And here's the other thing I didn't think about on turn 6, Madame Medusa. So continuing this amazing curve that my opponent's got going here. She has a target. She could have taken out Shmi if she wanted to, but she's going to take out my Hiram, which makes more sense because he's harder to take out. And probably more important, like if you want to take something out, you know, get rid of my draw engine. And now Madame Medusa is also on the board, and everything just turns sideways here. And yeah, it's not looking great. I have another Cogsworth. I don't have much, but I'm going to go for a whole new world just because I need stuff in my hand. I think I didn't find any of my top end cards, anything to threaten the board here. And even if I threaten the board here right now, it's probably a little too late. My opponent's at 13 lore now, while I'm at 2. And as you know, I usually use 10 lore as my benchmark if my opponent is past 10 lore and I don't have anything to show on the board. It's looking pretty bad for me. And that seems to be the case right now. But yeah, I'm forced to trade into this Mufasa here. Luckily, she doesn't hit anything too big. She hits just a regular Queen, which I'm going to use Cogsworth to take out just because I don't want it to shift and add more, you know, headaches to my problems right now. But yeah, so yeah, I right the board a little bit here where, you know, I got rid of some threats, but my opponent still has 4 lore on the board if she just turns everything sideways. I am threatening possibly like grab your swords, I guess. But here's where everything goes wrong. A second time where Scar comes out, which means now he can clear out some of my threats. My Cogsworth and Shmi get taken out here. Oh, if she did it right, she could have taken out all of them, I think. Well, no, so Scar does 6. Yeah, no, she could have wiped my board if she attacked correctly. I think if you went Cogsworth into Shmi, that would have been my entire board, I think. But math is hard with resist on the board for sure, I believe. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, it doesn't seem to matter because my opponent is just going to be turning sideways here, and I just have a lone Cogsworth to try and answer everything, and everything's so tanky too. We have Rapunzel, which I should have taken out earlier because the 5 health is a big problem right now where I can't take her out. We have Mother Gothel with 4 and Madame Medusa also with 4, so even if I grab your swords, I hit nothing here. I do have Let It Go, which is what I have to end up using to take out this Rapunzel, which isn't fun. Not fun at all. It looks like this game is just about over. I'm forced to do some really nasty things just off of my own mistakes. Let's be fair. You know, I should have definitely played better. I put myself in this situation for sure. But yeah, I mean, my opponent's curve was pretty good. I think she had a good chance of winning anyway, because like I'm still on the back foot right now, and I probably would have been anyway, even if I did do the moves that I was saying. But still good to keep in mind the mistakes that you make, because it's room for improvement for the future, you know, like remembering all these things so that, you know, in the future you don't make the same mistakes. Even if I would have lost anyway, it's good to know so that I don't do those mistakes again when I have a chance to win. But yeah, my opponent is going to add Flynn Rider and a Mulan. She's just going to play the Floodborn Mulan just on the board as lore pressure, which is fair enough because she's at 19 now after questing with the Mother Gothel and the Madame Medusa. And I have a concern here where I'm like, I thought about if I could clear the board, and I think I got close. I don't know if I have an answer for the Mulan, but I debate for quite a bit here trying to figure it out. And I, at the end of the day, decide to try and rush because I have a chance here of winning because I have 5 items on the board, I think 5 or 6. And I have a lucky diamond hand, so I do have a chance here. If I get enough materials, I can quest with the Tamatoa, get that lore, and then use the lucky dime on the Tamatoa, and then quest with the Cogsworth. The only problem is I don't have enough items yet to win off of that, so I have the lucky dime here. I'm going to quest with what I have with the Tamatoa. I'm going to pick up this Fortisphere from my discard, and I'm going to play it, and I actually need to draw an item here, which I don't. If I drew another Popsicle, I think I would have gotten pretty close. I'm 1 or 2 lore off. There was actually a really close chance of winning there, which was very, very surprising for such a disadvantage, like being able to collect all that in the end of the day. That would have been crazy. I got close. I want to say I was 1 or 2 items off. It was close though, for sure. So still fun. It was very fun to see Ruby Amber kind of pop off like that. But yeah, on to the last game. I am on the play again as I was the loser of the last game. And for my turn 1, I got Popsicle. My opponent gets Queen. And on my turn 2, I'm going to boom the Queen. I didn't have a 2-drop, but I also don't want to deal with the Queen again. The Floodborn Queen shenanigans, really not my favorite. But on my opponent's turn 2, she ends up having 2 1-drops. So it makes up for it. She gets the Queen and Mulan on the board. So still threatening to play the Floodborn Queen all the same. On my turn 3, I get my Fishbone Quill, so I am ramping once more. I'm going to try and get up to the higher inks and get my bigger threats. But on my opponent's turn 3, here it comes again, the Queen. I cannot seem to get away from this card. Every single round I have to deal with this Queen, but not too bad on the play, I think, as opposed to on the draw. I feel like it was a lot more impressive. To be fair, I could have gotten rid of it, so again, did it to myself. But yeah, I'm going to play Hiram on my next following turn. I'm going to use the Fishbone Quill to add an ink, so I am up to 6 ink now. Unfortunately, did not have much else to play with my 2 remaining ink, but at least I am getting up there. And back onto my opponent's turn. She is going to deliberate for a little bit. I do have some of my bigger threats in my hand that I see now. I think in my last game I didn't have a Tinkerbell, which made things a little more difficult. But it looks like my Hiram drew it for me this time, because I think I would have played it otherwise if I had it already, since there's a Mulan that can get hit, and you know, it threatens the Queen, makes her not want to turn as much. But yeah, on my opponent's following turn, Flynn Rider comes down, putting up that Flynn Rider threat again, and my opponent's just gonna continue to quest since I did not have that Tinkerbell threat as I was saying. I just have a Hiram, but yeah, now that I have it, Tinkerbell can come down, get rid of the Mulan so that, you know, she can't be healed by like Julieta or by Rapunzel. And we're going to deal 1 damage to everything. Also, we are going to challenge Flynn Rider's ability again, since Flynn Rider is on the board and the Queen has 4 strength. I need to have at least 4 strength on the board to make sure that my opponent does not gain 3 lore. So Tinkerbell does that very spectacularly. So yeah, usually that's the other answer to Flynn Rider that I have if I don't have a boom, or if I don't have anything else. But yeah, my opponent is going to find Brawl, so my Hiram is not going to be drawing me any more cards. Throughout this set, I feel kind of bad for him. He gets brawled so often, and yeah, I mean, he's just getting beat up every single game, which cannot be fun. But yeah, it's just what happens, you know. The Hirams get brawled. That should be like one of the commandments of Lorcana. But yeah, we're gonna think a little bit here before passing it back to me. I have my Tinkerbell on the board. I think my opponent was debating if she should turn or not, which is always the debate you're gonna have to have with yourself when Tinkerbell is on the board. Yeah, she has the Queen, she has Flynn Rider. It's not gonna look great because if she turns even one of them, then Tinkerbell will take both of them out. So I'm in a pretty good spot. So yeah, I feel like Tinkerbell is very essential for this matchup, where it's just really forcing you to stay on your heels and really question if you can be luring. My opponent is at 6 lore right now, which is really good for me, I feel, because I have the ability to rush lore very quickly, as we see from the last game where I could have almost won from 2 in 1 turn. So as long as I'm keeping my opponent's lore down, making her not want to quest as much, then that is enough. On my turn, I did play the Tamatoa to add to that kind of threat. But yeah, here I think my opponent is getting a little antsy because there's the concern where I am getting a little bit out of hand here. I just played a Tamatoa. I'm going to be playing a Popsicle and kind of like threatening that I'm getting stuff going. So I think she turns because she is getting kind of scared of where I'm going with this. But now that it's turned, I can use my Tinkerbell to also take out the Flynn Rider. There's a question of, if you're turning, should you just turn the Flynn Rider as well? But the thing with that is the Flynn Rider could, you know, be challenged by something else. But yeah, I'm gonna be using Tamatoa here just to sing Let It Go. Take out the Queen, just get it off the board. I don't want to deal with it. It wasn't shifted, so it's only 1 card into the Inkwell, because Let It Go takes one of your opponent's characters and puts it into the Inkwell. So, oh, my opponent has a really good answer here in Lady Tremaine, because I have Cogsworth, Tinkerbell, and Tamatoa on the field, which means I don't really want to lose any of them. So that kind of hurt a little bit, but no big worries, because back on my turn, I'm going to play out my second Cogsworth, so the board just looks basically the same here. No concerns, but yeah, we are going to get going. I'm going to heal Tinkerbell a little bit with Tamatoa, with the Popsicle, because she did get some damage trading into some of the characters there. But yeah, and I can get to questing now, and I have a Popsicle now in my discard in case I want to get it with Tamatoa. But yeah, here we go. Now there's Scar on the board again. This is again gonna be another problem. I think she's debating how to trade here. Again, Cogsworth is making things very complicated with the resist. But yeah, they get to take out the Tinkerbell with the Scar. But now we have an issue, because Scar will do 5 damage and Madame Medusa will do 2, because resist 1 will take 1 damage off of each one. So she can't actually get my Tamatoa off the board, which is kind of showing the power of blue steel, where it gets rough here, where you can't remove my big health characters very easily when I have resist on the board, because if you especially have to ping like you know, like little bits of damage at a time, you're not going to be able to take out some of the bigger threats. But yeah, she is just gonna go ahead and quest with Lady Tremaine. I guess that kind of said, like, you know, if you're thinking about if you need be prepared in your Ruby Amber deck, I would say probably yeah. I know it's weird to run characters or non-characters in like a Mufasa style deck, but you know, several non-hits is not too bad. And I think it's almost required, especially in like situations like this where you know, blue steel definitely is very hard to remove without that. And you're you know, you're already in Ruby. Like, why would you say no to that kind of free removal like that? Like, obviously it's hard if you brick against that, but you know, something to think about. But yeah, anyway, back onto my turn. I have another Let It Go. I'm gonna sing it with Cogsworth into the Scar. The Scar was already hurt a lot from the Tinkerbell, but I didn't really want to take that much damage with any of my characters, so I thought I would sing just to get rid of it and, you know, make my whole board safer. But my opponent ended up having Maui anyway, which I think I just didn't think of at the moment. Because, yeah, I would say this situation isn't better for me, where I just lost Cogsworth for free there. I think I would have preferred just the Scar be on the board, because he wasn't really threatening much. I mean, with the Maui, he threatens to take out a Tamatoa, I guess, but you lose both Scar and Maui in that situation, which is crazy good for me. I'll take that any day, especially when I have 2 Tamatoas on the board right now. I'm putting a boatload of pressure. So, yeah. With this, I'm also like getting up my stack of items now with 2 Tamatoas. I don't have as big of a stack as my last 2 games, so they're not actually questing for very much, but at least I get to recycle my Popsicle in this scenario if I keep, you know, questing, so there's an option. But yeah, they're both also very high strength, very high willpower, so very hard to get off the board, and very ideal for this kind of matchup. I think I'm just trying to figure out where to go from here. The dice in the middle is actually signaling that we are in overtime. This is, you know, game 3, and we've taken quite a bit of time trying to get to this situation. So I am turn 1. If you don't know how it works, we have 5 turns to end the game. If we don't end it by then, it's a draw. So in this situation, I mean, I'm only at 6 lore. I know I can get it very fast, but it ended up working out. So here's what I did. I hard casted Whole New World, and the reason I did that is I'm looking for these Popsicles and Fortress Spheres because I haven't been drawing them this turn. So I was thinking they have to be somewhere there. So I fished and I found a bunch of them. I got up to, I think, 4 items. So now my Tamatoas are questing for 5 instead of, I think they're questing for 2 each at the time. And but it doesn't end up mattering. I do end up taking the game because she cannot remove my other Tamatoa. But yeah, no, I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was really fun. We got to watch 3 games of this Ruby Amber matchup. But yeah, if you did enjoy, definitely leave a like. I really appreciate that. Lets me know I'm doing kind of, you know, doing good, doing the right things here. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.